Have you ever stopped and truly looked at the world around you? Not just glanced, not just moved through your day on autopilot, but really looked? Stared at your hands long enough for them to feel alien? Focused on the way light bends around objects, the way shadows never seem to fully settle? Have you ever looked so closely that the very fabric of reality itself started to fall apart? Because if you do, if you look too closely, nothing is real. The world around you is an illusion, a carefully constructed, ever-changing projection, one that crumbles the moment you try to hold it still. You exist inside a machine of perception, a biological interface that translates reality into something digestible, something smooth, something convincing. But beneath it, beneath the carefully rendered textures, the depth, the motion, the colors, there is nothing. No solid objects, no real separation between you and everything else. Just an infinite shifting sea of energy and information, constantly rearranging itself into what we call experience. It's easy to forget this. You were built to forget it. Evolution demanded that you take the world at face value. A tree is a tree, a hand is a hand, a person is a person. But if you really look, if you strip away all assumptions, all expectations, all the unconscious agreements you've made with reality since birth, you'll see that these things don't truly exist. Not in the way you think they do. Science itself has already unraveled the illusion. At the atomic level, what appears solid is nothing but empty space. The atoms that make up your body, the chair you're sitting in, the device you're watching this on, they are 99% nothing. The protons and neutrons inside them, they're not solid things either. Just energetic fluctuations, held together by fundamental forces that we barely understand. A ghostly dance of probability, shifting endlessly, with no real substance to grasp. So why does it all feel real? Why does your hand feel solid against a table? Why does the floor beneath you hold your weight? Because your brain is lying to you. It's giving you a story, one that's been honed and perfected over millions of years of survival. Your nerves don't actually feel the table. What happens is simple. The electromagnetic fields of your hand and the table repel each other, and your brain interprets this as touch. That's it. There is no true contact. There is no true solidity. Just forces repelling forces. An illusion so seamless that you never thought to question it. But that's only the beginning. Because if you look even closer, if you follow this unraveling thread all the way down, you'll find something even more unsettling. There may not be a reality at all. At the quantum level, particles don't even exist until they are observed. They remain in a state of superposition, existing everywhere and nowhere at once, as if waiting to be noticed before deciding what they are. This isn't science fiction. This isn't some abstract philosophical concept. This is real, repeatable, measurable physics. The infamous double-slit experiment proved it. Fire electrons through two slits, and they behave like a wave, interfering with themselves, as if they're in multiple places at once. But the moment you observe them, the moment you try to measure what's happening, they snap into a defined position, as if they only decided to be real once someone was watching. What does that mean? That reality doesn't exist until it's perceived? That everything around you, your room, your city, your entire universe, isn't truly there unless something is looking at it? If that's the case, then what happens when you stop looking? Maybe that's why nothing ever looks quite right when you stare too hard. Maybe that's why the edges of your vision seem unstable, why the patterns in the wallpaper start to shift if you focus on them long enough. Maybe that's why mirrors feel wrong. Because deep down, something in you knows the world isn't as solid as it pretends to be. And it gets worse. Because not only is the external world an illusion, but so are you. The thing you call yourself, your identity, your thoughts, your personality, is just another construct. A convenient hallucination, held together by memory and expectation. You assume you are the same person you were yesterday. You assume your thoughts are your own. But have you ever stopped to ask where they come from? Have you ever truly observed a thought forming? Can you predict it? Control it? No. It appears from nothing. And the more you chase it, the less real it becomes. Everything you think you are is a process, a shifting stream of experience, constantly updating and rearranging itself. There is no stable self, no single point of consciousness that stays the same from moment to moment. Just a flickering pattern of awareness, pretending to be a solid thing, pretending to be you. And if that's the case, then who's looking? Who's watching reality unfold? Who is experiencing all of this if there is no fixed self, no stable observer? This is where everything begins to unravel completely. Because the answer is terrifying. There is no one. Consciousness is not something you have. It is not something that belongs to you. It is simply something that is. A process, a pattern, a fleeting moment of awareness, arising and dissolving in each instant, with no core, no center. And if you truly look at it, if you try to find where you begin and end, you will come up empty. You are not a person experiencing reality. You are the experience itself. And reality? It's just a fragile projection, a simulation, not in the science fiction sense, but in the most fundamental way possible. A rendering of information, created by your mind, shaped by forces you will never fully understand. The colors you see? They don't exist outside your brain. The sounds you hear? Nothing but vibrations, interpreted into meaning. The space around you? A model, a representation, not the thing itself. You have never, and will never, experience true reality, because there is no way to step outside of perception itself. This is why every culture, every philosophy that has dared to look too closely at reality has come to the same unsettling conclusion. The Buddhists called it Maya, the grand illusion. The ancient Greeks had Plato's cave, where shadows on a wall were mistaken for truth. Modern physicists call it the holographic principle, the idea that our three-dimensional reality might actually be encoded on a two-dimensional surface. And every one of these ideas, from religion to science, points to the same final truth. Nothing is real, not in the way you think. So where does that leave us? If the world around you is an illusion, if your very sense of self is an illusion, what can you hold on to? The answer is simple. Nothing. And maybe that's okay. Because if nothing is real, if everything is just a fleeting dance of perception, then all the things you fear, failure, loss, rejection, even death, are just as unreal. Just passing moments in a dream you call life. And that means you are free. Free to experience, free to create, free to let go. If you look closely, nothing is real. But if you stop struggling against it, if you let go of the need for solid ground, for absolute truth, for certainty, then maybe, just maybe, that's the most real thing of all.